Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're doing a commander deck tech on your boy Chulane, the Teller of Tales, the new bank commander from Throne of Eldraine roll decks. Now this deck is built around casting tons of really cheap but really efficient creatures to get the most of our commander. So Chulane is a 5 mana bank commander, a 2/4 with vigilance, but whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card and then you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. So you draw first and then you can play the land, so if you draw a land, just slap it straight in. Also is pay 3, tap him, bounce a creature back to its owner's hands, but a creature you control of course. So in his design, he's cyclic, because you can play your own creatures and bounce them back with him if you need to get more card advantage out of them. So this deck is all about really good creatures, drawing tons of cards, ramping pretty hard, and if you like it, that's your playstyle. So game plan and win conditions first. Because you are casting tons of cheap, efficient creatures, you kind of have like a bit of a storm counter, so Aether Flux Reservoir is a great option, gains a ton of life, and then if you get 50 more, just pay and dome someone for 50. Gold Eternal Ketra, every time you cast a creature spell, you make a 4/4 black token. That there can win a game on its own within a few turns. Or our other option is just simply run them over. Triumph of the Hordes gives all our creatures 1/1 trampling effect. I do like playing Infecting Commander, I hate myself a bit, but join me, come hate yourself over here. Or Finale of Devastation or Craterhoof, just simply overrun them with these kind of effects. Finale of Devastation could even get Craterhoof and you can double up, like live the dream. Or the good old Allurin combo here. Now, another reserveless card that's seen Commander play, it's going up in price even more. It's a 4 mana enchantment, any player may cast creature cards with CMC 3 or less without paying their cost and their instant speed. Pretty much all the cards in our deck fall under that. Now you mix that with things like Cloudstorm Curio, which is a 3 mana artifact that says whenever a non-artifact permanent comes into play under your control, you may return another permanent you control with the same type back to its owner's hands. So you cast a creature, you can bounce the creature back, but if you're not paying their cost, you just keep flipping them from your hand back to the battlefield and back again. But your commander sees it, you get to draw a card, and you can also put a land straight into battlefield. With this, you can just deck yourself, so Laboratory Maniac becomes an option, and because he's in the deck and he's 3 mana, you can cast him for nothing, you eventually draw into him, play him for free, and just keep going through your library. These cards on their own are all great standalone, like you can deck yourself without the combo. Cloudstone Curio does work without Allurin, or Allurin does work without either of these cards. These 3 cards on their own are great as a combo free win. Now, onto the creatures. So first up are kind of like our XR removal. Deputy of Detention can lock down one name card we don't want to deal with. Reflector Mage can bounce things back to the hand and they have to wait another turn to cast it. Good old Feed Hunter can just exile a creature underneath him when he enters. Good luck getting it back. Or we can really hate artifact enchantments with things like Kasali Pride Mage that brings a bit of Exalted, and you can sack him to wreck an artifact enchantment. Night of Autumn, giving you options all day long. Counters, destroying artifact enchantments, a life gain. Rex Sage can destroy artifact enchantments as well on entry. Or, I love our taxing creatures, just make your opponent's life a little bit harder. They're all cheap, really efficient creatures for what they are. Thalia at 3 mana has first strike 3/2, but creatures and non-basic lands your opponent control into battlefield tapped, slow them down. Collector Oof, I want to say Apuchi, but Oof it is. Just says activated abilities of artifacts can't be done. That's fine, we don't really run artifacts. Nirvana, they can't cheat things in pretty much. And Grand Abolisher, just slow them down, stay to your own turn please, wait till I'm done, thank you. Aven Mind Sensor, just stop them searching the library, they have to look in top 4 only. And then we even have bouncing creatures here because of the way the commander likes to work. If we can cast creatures multiple times, we get more value out of them. So things that make other creatures go back to a hand like Shrieking Drake, the Dreamstalker, or the White Mane Lion, all can come in, bounce a creature back to a hand and we cast it again. Or we've got plenty of tutoring in the deck. Fauna Shaman is a boss here because you can use it kind of like a toolbox. It's a 2/2 for 2, but you can pay 1 mana, tap it, discard a creature, search your library for another creature, put it into your hand. You can get what you need. Ranger, Captain of Eos, and Ranger of just Eos, both get creatures CMC 1, pretty much your mana dorks. Your Elf, Birds of Paradise, those kind of things. Spellseeker can search your library for an instant sorcerer CMC 2 or less, pretty much your tutor spells for ramp. And notice, everything here is still 3 mana or under. And then here's more the mixed bag of creatures. They don't really have a category, but they're fun in this deck. Good old Muldrifter, my favourite non-fish in Magic, love them. Hedron Crab I think is really fun, because you're playing a lot of lands, you're dumping them out very fast. Landfall Mill, it's just another way to tax your opponent from another angle. Every turn you're going to at least mill them for 3, hopefully. And Undergrowth Champion, Landfall, give it a counter if it takes damage you remove one counter, instead of it dying. It can get really big and it can become a genuine threat to deal with. Or Eternal Witness, just a key card in Commander. Or Tireless Tracker, which every time pretty much landfall happens, you create a clue token, which can give you more draw and buff the tracker himself. Mother of Rune, just a great card. That protection always comes in handy, never go wrong. And then the bigger creatures towards the end of the deck here. Sun Titan plays really well with our CMC 3 or less. We can return all our small creatures back and other key pieces. Elesh Nor can be kind of like an overrun effect, make all small efficient creatures even bigger and just nuke our opponent's board. And Rampaging Baelorth can make an army pretty easily in this deck with all of the landfall 4/4 creatures entering. Tatyova, the Bedthick Druid, just really supports the commander's game plan. Every time landfall, you gain a life and draw a card. That's pretty good with Chulane. And Saheeli, Voice of the Plenty, just gives us planeswalkers and our creatures hexproof and can buff our whole team. You really can't go wrong there. Now into support, because our commander is a big key part of the deck, like all my commander deck techs. You want both your beauties in here, your Swiftfoot and Lightning Greaves, you definitely need them. Eladamri's Call, being reprinted in Modern Horizons, is a great tutor in this deck for $2. 2 mana, search your deck for any creature into your hand, your whole deck's creatures. Kmetra, God of the Harvest, works real well in this deck. Every time you cast a creature spell, you may search a library for forest or plains, put onto the battlefield tapped. Now, because of having her here, we do run a lot of dual lands that have the type forest or plains, and we run 2 planeswalkers for a bit of support. Jace, the Wielder of Mysteries, is our backup Laboratory Maniac, plus the bit of mill and draw is nice to have, and Tamio, the Field Researcher. She's just an overpowered boss. She can give us rewards for attacking through draw, she can tap down things so they don't untap, or she can just be Ancestral Recall pretty much, like you can't go wrong there. Right, onto control. I don't run counter spells as say, but I do run Mystic, Snake, and Field Mystic because they're a creature that will get to draw us a card on entry and let us play additional land, but they also can counter a spell. Like it's 3-in-1. Path to Exile and Swords of Plowshare, I just more my direct exile here. Supreme Verdict and Cyclonic Rift are my board dealing problem solutions. And Aura Shards just lets us hate on artifact enchantment decks because they'll be everywhere. Now into ramp, even more little creatures. So I do run 1 Land of War Elf and 1 Avernus Pilgrim. That way I've got a green and a white mana source, plus Birds of Paradise for any color source. Somberworld Sage can tap for 3 of any one color just for creatures. That's fine, she can pretty much tap for another creature because most of our deck is 3 CMC or less. And Lotus Cobra with a landfall for additional mana. Really powerful when your commander lets you just keep dumping lands from your hand. We also run Kadama's Reach, Cultivate, and Farseek. Reach and Cultivate are great in this deck because I put a land onto the battlefield and the land into a hand, which hopefully our commander can also put back onto the battlefield. Wood Elves can search for a forest card. Doesn't have to be basic, and we have a lot of split cards in this deck. And Solemn just gets lands and draws cards. It's a great all-round creature. Now onto the mana rocks. We only run 4 because we have a lot of cheap mana dorks and a lot of ramp built in already. I do like the Great Henge and I really want to play with it and see how well it goes. But it has reduction built in, and then it can tap for 2 green, you gain life, and it offers draw for non-token creatures entering the battlefield, and it buffs them. It does a lot of things in one card. Then we run Soaring because command attack is a thing, and Thought Vessel is a card I don't mention too much because it's a really expensive common, but having a no maximum hand size in this deck is very handy, and Chromatic Lantern just to make sure we're on all our colors all the time. Now, onto lands. Like I said, we have a lot of lands that have the plains or forest subtype because of Kmetra and other things in our deck. So with our 3 shock lands, which all have forest or plains in them, we run the Scattered Groves and Canopy Vista, which are both the forest plains, and we run both the Prairie Stream and Irrigated Farmland, which are both the plains and island. This way we have 7 colored lands which have the subtypes that we can tutor for. In saying that, we also run our 3 buddy lands, nice cheap, get our colors online. I also run a Yavimaya Coast, Akadar Waste, and Waterlord Grove for a bit more color fixing there, and a Command Tower and a Seaside Citadel for more of our 3 colors online. As for fetch lands, I don't have Misty Rainforest here because again, it's kind of an expensive card. I'm trying to keep $50+ cards out of my decks if I can. But Windswept Heath and Flooded Strand are about 25 right now, great fetch lands. And I do run the slower versions, Grassland and Flooded Plain. They are fetch land, but they just enter tapped, so slow fetch lands, but they work well in this deck. And we run our Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse too. As for support lands, Rectile is a must-have because of no maximum hand size and the way our commander works. And I didn't know this, Alchemist Refuge is now $10. I used to buy these for like 50 cents a dollar all day long, and now they're $10 each? Damn! But the idea, 2 mana, you may cast non-land cards for flash this turn, end your opponent's turn, activate it, and just dump a ton of creatures from your hand if you need to. As for the basics, I've gone 4 and 4 and 4 for our 3 types, nice and simple. And that's my Chulane commander deck. I think Chulane's boss, the old mate that can. Comes in, you cast a ton of creature spells, you play a ton of lands, you draw a ton of cards, you have a great time all around. Plus, I love playing with really efficient creatures, and this deck has long-term viability for sure. There's always efficient creatures being printed in Magic. If they fall into Bant, more upgrades for you. You can also build this deck with different themes under it. I have seen some people doing persistent petitioner decks with him. Sure, he's not an advisor, but he offers draw and ramp with that kind of playstyle that could be really fun. So yeah, really versatile commander, just good creatures, have a good time, draw tons of cards. So let me know your thoughts, guys, and what other creatures would you like to chuck in here? What are your top efficient creatures? Alright, have a good one, guys. Catch you later. Also, I got a new chair. Ta-da! And it's so comfortable. Worth the money. Alrighty, it's that time of the video. We can do a bit of a shameless plug. So thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, please sub and like. It really does help the channel's analytics out a lot. Maybe consider joining me on my other social platforms, where you can talk about anything and everything Magic related. And special thank you to our patrons. They make the channel what it is. These guys are the building blocks for Mana Down Under. They support the channel in many ways. And if you'd be interested in supporting the channel, links are down below and at the end of the video. Thank you, guys.